All right. We're gonna get into it today on 3 ways to pick the right career for you. How do you know that the career you're in is in alignment? How do you find that career that is gonna be in alignment? This is a great video for people at any stage in their journey. You could be, just graduating college or university, still trying to find a specific job within a certain niche based on your degree, or it could be you're not satisfied with the job you're currently in and maybe you want to make a switch in terms of the industry or job altogether, the type of job and work that you do. Maybe you just want to switch it up. You want to change. Maybe you've been in the same kind of industry for a while and you want to apply your skills and knowledge and expertise into a different area of work. So whatever it may be, you're watching this video because you obviously either don't like the job that you're in right now or not sure what career path to take. And so we're gonna explore all of this and hopefully you'll find some more insight and feel more confident and comfortable with the next steps that you will have to take. So when I'm thinking about finding a job that's gonna be in alignment, I'm gonna be asking myself, okay, well, what am I interested in? And also, just to preface before we dive into anything, I just want you to know that whatever you choose as a career, it may shift, it may not. I know people that are, for the longest time, they always knew what they wanted to do and they never wavered, right? They wanted to be a doctor and they're a doctor now, or a teacher and they're a teacher and they're happy and they never have to change whatever they do for their careers. For some of us, it's maybe not that simple. It's maybe not that easy. Maybe we're not as clear on what it is that we want, or maybe we had a lot of fears and obstacles along the way, but now we do know what we want and now we want to work towards having a career in that specific field or industry. And so whatever the case may be, to better figure out what it is that you want to do, it's gonna have to start with what's important to you. What are your values? What interests you? What are your skills? And combining all those things to better direct you on the path that's gonna make you the most happiest and it's gonna be the most fulfilling. Doesn't mean you'll have the same type of work or job for a company for the rest of your life. You may have a similar job, but you may just change companies, right? It may look different. It's always gonna be changing, or maybe it's not, but whatever the case it is, it's okay. You don't need to be hard on yourself at the fact that you maybe don't know what you wanna do or it's constantly changing. That is totally fine. But I think with having some of these key sort of guides and questions to ask yourself as you navigate along your career path for the rest of your life, it will help you to find things that are consistently in alignment and bring you joy, and to know when something isn't in alignment anymore and when you would need to move on to the next venture. So, what's important to you? That's the number one question. A lot of the times we'll find ourselves in jobs that don't make us happy and that aren't fulfilling, or we feel lost and frustrated because they don't align with our interests and what we're passionate about and what we care about, or align with our values. I think a lot of the times we take on jobs primarily just because of what our parents want and expect of us. Maybe we fell into the trap of what society considers a quote unquote respectable job. Sometimes we go after jobs because also the money. Quite frankly, a lot of us just take jobs because of the money. And I understand one aspect of that is that we need to survive. There's a certain lifestyle that we want to live. And so we'll just take any job just because of what the money can provide, the type of lifestyle that it can provide us. But I think we also need to act with integrity and also remember that money isn't everything, and money also can't guarantee happiness to a certain extent. And you also want to feel good about the work that you're doing. You don't have to completely love it. It doesn't have to be your passion per se. It could be something that you're just good at, but it has to be a job that you're not tearing your hair out to go to every morning, right? You have to see the bigger picture as to the work that you're doing and feel good about the work that you're doing. And to me, honestly, I will not trade any amount of money to take on a job that I absolutely hate. I will not last in it for long, and it will negatively affect my health. And in the long run, there's no point in me putting myself and subjugating myself to that. So the first thing you want to do is really just be honest with yourself. Am I in a role that is important to me? Do I feel good about the role that I'm in and the industry that I want to go in? And the best way to figure that out is to identify your interests. So this is especially for someone who like maybe doesn't know what they want to do. I know I'm very much like a multi-hyphenate, and for so long I thought there was something wrong with me because, you know, I would have a job and I would feel like something's missing and I want to do something else. Even with my coaching, I know that there's more that I still want to do outside of my coaching. It doesn't mean that coaching isn't for me or I don't like it, but there are, you know, I have a lot of interests. I have varied interests and hobbies and things that I'm passionate about. And so there may be a point in my life where like one thing doesn't really suit me anymore and I want to move on and challenge myself with something else, right? But anything that I do, I always make sure that it's in alignment with my interests. And a great way to figure that out is like, what did you love doing like as a child? Even things that you love doing and engaging in now. So for me, I love creative writing. I love writing. I remember just like, instead of watching Disney movies, I was always reading books. I had a little diary. I was journaling. I remember like doing little plays on the school bus with my friends, like pretending I'm like a news reporter. So I've always been someone that's been very creative when it comes to play, performance, even music and dancing. I was dancing as young as I can remember. My parents both enrolled me in dance lessons, dance classes. Like these are all things that I equally still love doing. And so in hindsight, when I look back, I probably should have had a career in one of those things. And I kind of am now, right? When it comes to like maybe just like speaking, you know, I love talking with my friends and having passionate discussions and discourse about the world and like just our lives and how we can better it. And so I knew that becoming a speaker or a coach and helping other people with their lives is something that is in great alignment with my interests, because it's something that I already love to do without having to be paid, right? I love helping other people. I love writing with my business, having to write my newsletters, creating these videos that allows me to be creative and expressive and speak my truth. And also editing the videos is fun. Like I love taking nothing and turning it into something. And all of these things interest me. All the things that I'm doing right now in my life, they all align with my interests. And that is why I'm able to show up every day and be so confident and happy and feel like I'm making an impact with the role that I play in my career, being a coach, being an author, being a speaker, all these things. So you need to figure out like, what am I interested in? What are the things that, I'm not saying like you have to monetize all your hobbies, but like, what are you good at? What could you do all day for fun and not even need to be paid for, but you could be paid for it, right? That will kind of give you an indication of like what industry to go in. So for someone like me that loves creative writing, that likes speaking, all these things, I would make a good coach. I would make a good author. I would make a good copywriter working in marketing, right? Like, so start to kind of like, you know, piece things together. What are my interests? These interests, where would I best find them in a specific industry? And then of course, assessing your skills and your strength is gonna be just as important. What am I good at, right? So what are your talents? What are your strengths? What are your skills? I'm really good at organization, which is probably why I make a really good entrepreneur. I'm really good at staying focused, organizing things. I'm really good at networking, collaborating with others. So those are very unique skills and strengths that maybe not everybody has or isn't willing to work on, but comes really naturally to me, right? Even my creative writing is a talent, is a skill that not everybody has. People always tell me how much they love my newsletters, how much they love my writing. That is how I'm able to be a coach still today and make money off of my sales pages. I don't hire anyone to really help me with my copywriting. Most of it is all me. So assessing your skills and your strengths and pairing that with whatever industry you'd also like to go in. And then clarifying your values is going to be so important. What matters to you in a career? You know, do you need work-life balance? Do you need creativity, the space and the room to be creative? Do you like helping others? Do you like working alone? Do you like being more collaborative? Do you prioritize financial stability? Do you really need a job that's gonna bring in a lot of money? To be fair, you can still find a job that brings in a lot of money that also caters and aligns with your interests and your strengths and your skills, right? You don't have to compromise finances for a job that you're also passionate about. You can have both. So just clarifying like what really matters to you when it comes to a career. Of course, if this is still kind of hard for you, especially when it comes to like the skills and the strengths, because some people may feel like, well, I don't know, I'm not good at anything. And really, I think you just need to do some more deep work because we all are good at something. But there are lots of online resources, like career assessment tools online, personality tools and assessments to figure out like what career paths are suitable for you based on these things. And I love them. They're so fun. I'm gonna link a couple of them in the description below, but I love to take like personality quizzes and career quizzes. Like, it gives me so much insight, and it also makes me remember and realize like who I am, like what I am good at, like how I'm here to serve. And it's just really good to have that reaffirmation, or it to be affirmed back to you. So taking some kind of online tool or resource or test. Also, I would say asking friends and family, like, what do you think I'm good at? Like, what kind of industry do you see me working in? What kind of job do you see me being best at? And, you know, you don't actually have to do anything with it, but that can also help to just provide you with some more insight and direction as to like, okay, maybe I could go in that direction and see myself in this type of role. Then the second thing you're gonna wanna do in order to pick the right career is to figure out like what you're gonna expect. And the only way to do that is to set clear goals and objectives. So if you know that you want a certain job where you're gonna be able to travel and have more flexibility, then you're gonna have to set up a goal to find a remote job. Also, you're maybe gonna wanna ask yourself, do I want a full-time job or a part-time, depending on like what stage you're at in your journey, or like what kind of lifestyle you want to live, right? If you're maybe someone who's a bit more passive, maybe, you know, you want the flexibility to raise a family and not really feel like you're working full time, then maybe being a stay-at-home mom, but then also having opportunity to find part-time work while you're at home, or maybe starting a business. So like asking yourself these questions, what do I want my work to look like? How do I want to show up when I'm at work? How am I allowed to show up while I'm at work? Is going to be really important. And then setting up your goals based on those parameters. And then of course, researching different career paths. So sometimes, honestly, we don't know what career path is right for us because we just don't know that it exists. So I either say you don't know that it exists or you have to create it. In my case, I realized that like it was a bit of both. Like I kind of have to create the kind of career that I want because I'm so creative and like more entrepreneurial. And that's why coaching turned out to just be like the best thing for me, and just being an influencer. But then also I recognize that, you know, I also love writing and I also want to be an author too. And that wasn't something that I thought was readily available to me, mostly because of my own limiting beliefs and not thinking that I had those skills. But now realizing that I do have those skills and I'm really capable, now it's opened up more doors and possibilities for me to now go after something that I probably always wanted to, but didn't believe in myself to go after. So, you know, researching career paths that you probably don't know exist, but you will find out exist once you do the research, or going back into your childhood and figuring out things that you love doing and enjoy doing, and researching like careers and industries that are in alignment with those things, as I mentioned in the first point. Or just creating something that maybe has never existed before, which is really exciting, right? Like when we think about some of the biggest entrepreneurs or richest people in this world, some of them are people that didn't even go to school, don't have degrees, but they're musicians. They create songs, music, art. They create products, technologies that never existed before. They're innovators. And so maybe, you know, like it doesn't exist and you're the one that needs to innovate it. And maybe that is your career path, being one who's an innovator, or maybe a leader who's inciting change, advocating for change. There are so many different things that we can do in this world that we don't realize we're capable of doing, or we don't realize exist. So definitely researching career paths, and even like just reaching out to professionals in some of these career paths that you might have some interest in. I know LinkedIn is a great place for this. Asking family and friends if they know anybody that's in an industry that you want to work in. Also just to gain insight, because sometimes you may think you want to work in a certain industry, but you realize like actually it's probably not the best environment for you. So for me, for example, I at one point really wanted to work within the finance space, and I thought I would just become like this hedge fund manager and like work with these big giant shark companies, corporations, JP Morgan, like all these big banks, and just like dominate the financial sphere, right? With my financial acumen and investment knowledge. But I also realized like I don't think that would be the best environment for me. They, work really long hours, just like being a doctor or a lawyer. And I really respect work-life balance because I don't want my life to just be all about work. And I rather find a career path that offers me flexibility, whether that's being an entrepreneur and still working within the realms of finance, but like doing it on my own terms, which is how I ended up becoming a wealth coach. So like I said, there's kind of like ways to work around things, but for me to like actually work within the finance space, even marketing, I've recently worked for a marketing agency and I realized I would never work for a marketing agency again. It was like, it's just not something that aligned with my energy. I felt really burnt out. And so you also need to do that research by interviewing other people, asking them who are already in that space, like, what do you think about this industry? Do you think it's an alignment for me? And just being completely honest, asking for completely honest advice. There's also internships and volunteer work if you have the resources and the energy to do it. But to be honest, I think you should be paid for your time and work, regardless if you have a lot of expertise or not. But if you are interested in doing internship type work or volunteering, whether on the side, part-time, or if you do have the time to do it full-time, then yeah, take that opportunity and see if that practical experience can help you determine if a particular field aligns with your interests and abilities. And then last but not least, just seeking guidance and support. Really finding a mentor or some sort of career coach in general, like me, who can offer guidance and advice and work on some of the strategies to find a career path that is going to be best in alignment for you. And people who have had to make these decisions before, right? So even for me personally, before finding my last marketing job and role, I actually joined a marketing career coaching program called Acadium, and they help you kind of brush up on your marketing skills and then also help you to find a job. So they help you clean up like your resume, how to be successful at interviews, things like that. And because I was out of the workforce for so long, I had kind of just taken some time off from the coaching and my business. I felt like I was a little stale at like getting back out there and looking for jobs. And so that really helped to propel me and find my most recent role, which was really great. It was a job that was in the beginning really in alignment with what I wanted. It was remote. I worked 4 days a week, so it would allow me to travel and just have more flexibility in my time and to also still work on my business part-time. But it also just ended up being like just not in alignment in terms of the environment over time. It was really burning me out. Just the pace of work, like that comes with working in an agency. You're working with like how many different clients. I feel like the demands were just too much. I didn't really get to like take care and consider the brands I was working with because I was so burnt out. I was just trying to like push stuff out. I was making a lot of mistakes. It just wasn't really for me. And now I know moving forward, if I work for someone again in marketing, like it's not going to be in an agency. It's going to be working with one brand where I can put all my time, devote all my time and energy and attention to, and really excel at the position that's given. But you won't know that until sometimes you throw yourself into like the ringer and experience something, a job and a role, and then realize maybe this isn't for me, right? But I think you could protect yourself. Maybe that's something I could have done more research in, like, should I work for an agency? Should I not? And I think ultimately I decided to, because I did learn that working for an agency, it can be a lot, but you also learn a lot because your hands are in a bunch of different things. And so that was quite true. I did have a certain experience that I probably just don't want to experience again, but I learned a lot from it. And then now I can go and try to experience it in a different way by just working for one brand. So, finding a mentor or career coach that can help navigate you through those things. Also just networking so that you can gain more information on the type of industry you want to be in or the career that you want, and see like if this really is something for me. And just educate and train yourself too. Like, try to push yourself further in terms of education. There are certain jobs or roles where like you need a degree in order to have that job. And so, if you don't have that degree or you don't have any skills or certifications in that area, then you may need to go back to school. You may need to like take a couple more courses to just brush up on your knowledge and like acquire those additional qualifications that you would need to open up new opportunities. So anyways, I hope that really helped, and just, remember all in all that choosing a career is not like a one-time decision. For some people, it's gonna be an ongoing process, and that's totally fine. Your interests, your values may even change, your goals may change. At one point, I didn't care to have a remote job, and now moving forward, if I ever do work for someone again, like, it has to be remote, right? A part of the reason why I even started my coaching business and wanted to start a business was so that I can work for myself and have that flexibility and time to do things in the way that I want to do it. And so, all of that is a lifelong journey. I would have never known. If you would have asked me 5 years ago if I would be doing what I'm doing today, I would have been like, no, that is not me. I hate social media. I don't want to be in the limelight. I don't want to do any of that. But then once I found something I was really passionate about, and I realized aligned with my interests and my values and my skills, I realized that, like, you know what? I can look at some of the downsides of having to show up on social media and focus on the impact that I'm going to be able to create being a coach. And so that is why I'm here today. And I would have never thought I'd be a coach today. I would have never thought I would have been able to work in marketing. I didn't go to school for marketing, but I have a lot of marketing skills now that I never had before. And I can now help someone else build their business without ever having to go to school for it. So I think just, really, like, never really saying no to anything, really embracing the journey and the pivoting and the adapting to life's experiences that are thrown at you, because it will make you a better person overall. And eventually you'll learn how to better find jobs and roles that are more in alignment with ultimately who you are and how you want to show up in this world. And you'll feel so much more satisfied and fulfilled. So hopefully this video helped you in some way. If it did, please like and subscribe, and sign up for my mailing list as well, so you can get access to my bi-weekly newsletters and just be more tapped into the community. And I hope to see you guys again in the next video. Bye.